The following live stream may include adult language and themes. How could we know for sure? It hasn't happened yet. Anyway, viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, everybody. Welcome adventurers, to another installment of my favorite D&D game, Ascensia. How is everybody feeling tonight?
Better now that I have food in my tum.
I don't know how to respond to how I'm feeling.
No,
I'm great.
Now you look like my daughter.
I'm a touch dehydrated. Well, that's how I'm feeling. I am joined by three of my favorite people to play D&D with, James, Katie, and Meg. If you missed last week's episode, it was a little heated. It was a little bit contentious. The party. Well, baby steps, baby, baby steps. The session started out fairly normal for this party, I guess. Waking up at Armax Tower, going about their business, spiders bringing them breakfast. Then Odessa, with her need to know things, started experimenting with the severed arm from a while back. I don't even remember what. Well, the arm that grew, you're right. Yes, you're right. The disembodied arm, because it does not have a body. I honestly, I meant to go back and watch the session today, but work was just overwhelming. What were Dimitra and Vigo doing at that point in time? Were y'all just like, yeah, you were trying to read the book, right? And it was, and with some difficulty, we learned that the book is split into two parts mostly. We had to figure out a passphrase to get the parts to reveal themselves. We found a journal part and a grimoire part. And the grimoire part, some of it is in languages that the party does not know. So you can only translate probably about 75% of the grimoire. But Dimitra read some journal entries, and then shortly thereafter, Drix returned on the back of a big dead dragon that he seemingly resurrected from somewhere in the mire, and brought the bones to Armak as a gift, in addition to the expedient form of travel that it was. Then came a little bit of the contention. Right out the gate, Drix coming in with a severed head, definitely set the mood in a certain way. There was some friction between him and Vigo. Vigo having some very strong feelings about the mantle of hero. Drix was kind of ambivalent. He didn't really care all that much, although he did, work a little bit to try and calm that ire that he was sensing from Vigo, but not too much. The party. What?
Drix did say, I don't know if this is calming, when he said, I expected better. Yeah. I did.
So then there was Drix did unfortunately inform the party that he will not be able to join them on the mission that they are currently planning into the Shadowfell. He gave some sort of cryptic answer about his being an acolyte to Lamenta, which is one of the material plane's death gods in Ascensia. Something about the balance of power, and he is essentially dimensionally locked. Then the party kind of found a calm after the little bit of a storm, and went their separate ways. Drix just went outside, presumably to sleep. The party went to the sleeping quarters, And that's kind of where we ended. I think there was some talk about what the plan was for this session, but we can talk more about that. It's been a couple of sessions. Everybody roll a d20. Let's see how good a night's sleep we got.
Oh boy.
I've got this dream stuff down. I got this dream stuff down to a science now.
Pleasant evening for Vigo because he got a 19.
Whoa!
It's just a straight D20.
Just a straight D20, yeah.
15. Oh, above average night.
Yeah, okay. That's okay. All right, we'll do a not so great dream sandwich with good dream bread. Yeah.
Not to be confused with Wonder Bread.
No. Good dream bread would never just be white bread. Let's be real.
This is true. Like, no, it'd just be taste better, like brioche, like or barbecue bread or something like that. Okay, you rolled a 19. The way sleeping dreaming works in Ascensia, if you're new to this concept, you roll d20. The closer to a 20 it is, the better the dream. The closer to a 1 it is, the worse the dream. I'm toying around with the ideas of possible consequences from a nat 1. We haven't had any yet, thankfully. There've been some pretty bad ones. Nat 20 could almost be prophetic, even. A 19 is really good, Vigo. It's not a 20, but it's really good. So let's see.
A 95th percentile outcome, you might say?
Yeah.
Some might. That's
okay. So Vigo, this is a good dream, which it's been a while since you've had a good dream. We'll say maybe there was a little bit of catharsis in that heated exchange with Drix, the opportunity to get some things off your chest, maybe. In this dream, you see yourself, and you can decide if this is in first person or third person because you rolled so high. Vigo is walking through some shattered ruins. The ruins have a familiarity to them, but they kind of look like an amalgam of some of the places that Vigo has called home over the years. And these ruins specifically look like they have been ravaged by storms and conflict of all varying kinds. But as Vigo strides through these ruins, they start to rebuild themselves. Dead trees regrow. There is dry, cracked, barren soil that becomes fertile again. And as you continue to walk, you can see that these places now do have some specificity to them. It's parts of the Bard College. It's parts of wherever Vigo has been in Karajid. You can fill in those blanks. Places where not all of his associations are pleasant, but there is this positivity that's sort of sweeping through here. And then down this path, you see up ahead of you something that resembles the Great Fey Oak in Northvale, but it is a deep azure green, like a green-blue, instead of that vibrant pink and purple. And you can hear some kind of music that is close to the song of creation that that all Fae are familiar with, and even though you haven't heard it in a long time, it will never leave your memory. But it's the voices of Vigo's family. And then at the very end of this path, there are two figures. One of them is very obscured, like almost like a blotch of paint that's being smeared over and over and over again, and no matter what angle you look from, you can't make out any of the details. But you get this impression that it is somebody of import. There is a bearing to them, a grandeur. Opposite him is Dirites. And he, as You approach the two of them. The obscured figure gives a very, like, sort of respectful bow, and Dirites kneels. And then Vigo wakes up.
This was supposed to be a good dream.
I don't know if it was good so much as it was confusing. Very confusing.
Well, dreams are often symbolic, so let it marinate for a little bit and get back to me. All right. To Vigo. No, to Vigo. They were both giving those gestures to Vigo
Oh.
as
I
Vigo
thought it was-
walked towards these trees.
I don't like that. I don't like Vigo getting respected. That doesn't seem right. Something's gone wrong. Go ahead.
All right. So, Odessa. Oh, I got it. This is hard because it's right under the line or right above the line.
She said
It's
to give
just
it to
something
her.
totally irrelevant. It's just like,
No,
Puppies.
no. I don't want anything to be irrelevant. Everything. We only get to play this game but so much.
Puppies are fine.
they're awesome. Let's be real.
Speaking as Dimitra.
So, Odessa, you have this dream, and once again, well, no, I think this is in first person. This is something that Odessa is witnessing and participating in, but you can't seem to do anything about it. You're standing on the edge of the Gombulan forest, the preserve. Yes, the forest that your tribe's lands were on, the forest that they deemed sacred, the forest that burned down. Now, it was a long time ago, and Firbolg have long lives, so a new forest has grown in its place, not quite as, old, not an old growth forest, but still something. You were standing there, and you're holding the halberd in one hand, and in your other hand you're holding a pile of like seeds, and the halberd is sort of trembling as if it's trying to pull away from you, to try to pull towards that forest, and it's growing hotter and hotter in your hand, and your attention is split between this halberd and these seeds. And you can feel this energy in these seeds that is telling you that they need to be planted, that the growth has to continue. But you get the sense that this halberd is pulling you away and pulling you towards a different path. No, it's pulling you towards the forest, and you get the distinct impression it's to burn it down. Katie, what did you roll?
15.
Okay. 15's pretty good.
Yeah, it's solidly above average.
So you
Those birds are just making me giggle because all I can hear is the whoo every now and then. I can't hear anything else.
Oh, there's crickets too.
There's
It's
definitely
just,
some crickets. Yeah.
it's just the calm night. I can turn it up a little bit. I did turn it down for like talking at the beginning. There's also some frogs in there, I think.
Okay.
So it's 15 solidly above average. It's still not perfect.
B plus.
Yeah, it's a B plus.
85th
Um,
percentile.
yeah. So in this dream, you are it's like you're back in the Fey Museum, and it is like you're looking at an exhibit. There's a glass case in front of you.
Of emotion?
Kinda. Because in this glass case, there's like a vignette happening, and it is a scene with a younger version of you. And in this scene, she's visited, when this is not a memory that you have, that's not what I'm trying to tell you, but you watch this scene take place where this young version of Dimitra is visited by this, you get the impression that it is an old figure because of the way they carry themselves, but they're obscured entirely by a cloak. And you see this scene take place, and it looks like maybe it's outside the Bard College. It's kind of hard to tell. Again, it's like an amalgam of places, probably. And you can hear the voice of this older person, and you don't. It's not a voice that you recognize before you ask. And you can hear her say, excuse me. I'm reading my notes. And they're gendered. I promise they're not, they don't have a gender. Or never mind. That's because I'm reading my notes about Dimitra. You can hear them say, "It's all right, little one. You were brave. But the fear will make you forget." And then the light above this vignette starts to, like, as if like somebody's put some gobos up. It starts, these shadows start to come in, and you can tell that they're wings. And then the scene gets blanketed in black feathers, and then you wake up. And now it's morning. Oh, that sound won't play. That's weird.
Oh, what a beautiful morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
It's great to stay up late.
Good morning. Good morning.
Nothing could be finer than to be in Carolina in the morning. So, there was a rooster call there. All right, you're all awake.
Dimitra's, for once. No, she's gonna stretch. Oh. Wake me when breakfast is ready. And she's gonna grab her blanket and pull it up higher.
No one call for breakfast. We'll go find it.
Sorry, Jesus. I'm just trying to find a good ambient sound.
What's Odessa doing? You're making breakfast? What are you making?
Is that sound coming through?
Yes.
Okay, weird. Sorry, my voice mod app twitched out on me. So Odessa wants to make breakfast. So you'll find that in the you're in this living quarters part of the castle spire, and it is lined with these big bunk beds. And there is, if you continue around sort of the natural curve of the room, there's a section just past the baths that has a little like kitchenette, kind of like imagine like a overstay hotel kind of size. Nothing super big. There's a small cast iron stove. There is a sink with a spigot pump. Yeah. You don't find, there's not like any like goods stored here. You'll have to like ask for them or go get them.
No,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not. Why?
Right down from the ceiling, out of places that you can't even really see, 3 or 4 of these smaller version of the, again, about the size of like a watermelon, arachnid.
Okay, I thought you'd still call them to where we are and just let me have some sort of caffeinated beverage first.
I mean, I didn't realize you'd stepped away.
Yeah, it's all attached, but it is like kind of on the other side. Yeah.
Okay. Of the
I
same
can probably,
room, though.
I can probably hear the skittering though.
You will have to shout. Oh, you definitely hear the skittering.
Yeah.
You probably see it too. It's just on the other side of the room.
Like there's it's
It's an open concept. Come on.
Yeah, it's whatever your mind's eye conjured, because Michael didn't conjure a floor plan. I imagined it that you will have to, if you are in the kitchen area, you would have to speak pretty loudly for the people in the sleeping area to hear you.
But they wouldn't have to skitter very loudly.
No, I think the skittering is amplified somehow.
Of course.
They've got Bose speakers underneath in their thorax.
Branded, just like the Bose brand, just emblazoned.
Yeah.
Just like the idea of them touching the food is just like...
They've touched all of our food, Vigo.
I'm presuming that Odessa has instructed the spiders for what she needs, and after a short time, they are bringing ingredients.
How long is this going to take?
Yes. As soon as you say that, spider comes down into the sleeping area with coffee.
How did you have it brewed that quickly?
Do you have pastries while we're waiting?
No, they bring like a tea service with coffee on it.
Is it at least French?
Yeah, one of them, it is actually. One of them, although it's not French, we'll have to figure out what that is in the world. Is it Gnome Press?
No, there's a France everywhere.
Not anymore. That was actually the city that destroyed Ascensia in the ancient apocalypse. Yeah,
the city of France.
Yeah, fires and misses. This one of these spiders, a little bit bigger than the others, with the tea service kind of up, all resting on its balance on its back, lands on the ground and crawls over to Vigo with the cup.
Here, I'll take it.
It's not touching anything. It's just balanced on its back on a big tray.
I'll take it, Vigo. And you, thank you very much, but carry on. Did you bring pastries?
Yes, another one comes down behind you with some pastry.
Excellent, thank you. Would it help if I prestidigitated the spider-reness away from the food and the coffee?
Why don't you polymorph it into something a little smaller and furrier?
No, it's okay.
Vigo, make a persuasion check.
Persuasion? Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
No.
Well, I mean, it was a 29.
It was a 29?
So after you say that, after Vigo says that, one of the spiders is kind of hanging in the air there, and it actually like convulses and twitches a little bit. It looks uncomfortable, admittedly, but then after a moment, its form twists and reshapes and turns into a rat that is the exact. Hold on, let me finish. It's the exact same color and texture of the spider. It does not have fur, so that is, just thinking visually.
They can do that?
Apparently, with some difficulty, but apparently. I will say that the bigger ones can't, just the little ones.
Would one of you up there care to be something a little more feline in persuasion?
Vigo, what are you doing?
Give me another persuasion check. Because this is outside their normal function, so...
good news. It's a 32.
Oh, God. Oh,
yeah,
God.
Oh,
no.
Yeah, that's absurdly high. So,
no. Yeah. James, you were so rude.
After after a few moments, you can actually hear up in wherever they come from, like movement of some kind. You hear it sounds like rattling, it sounds like vibrating, it sounds like sliding and shifting noises, and then 17 cats come down from the ceiling. Again, they're textured and the exact same color as the spider creatures, but and they're still spinning webs somehow. I guess these would be coming like out of their tails. I'm not going to make it shooting out of their butts.
Spider cats.
But they come down from the ceiling, and they're all, when they land on the ground, they all are just standing very still looking at Vigo.
Come here, little kitty.
They all come to you.
Do you know who loves kittens?
Nope.
Who loves them?
Vigo,
It's
don't you
Dimitra.
dare. Don't you. So Dimitra is now
loves little
fully,
kittens.
she is now fully awake. And she has taken the blanket and has wrapped it around it, but she's like standing up on the bed now. She's like, Vigo, don't you dare. Don't you dare. Vigo.
I'm loath to admit, I didn't think karma would ever come back in my favor, but
why? She's like picking up any objects near at hand and she's like throwing them.
Give me a dexterity roll.
Me or
at the cats?
Oh, okay.
Say like if you're
any that come close to her. You said just a dexterity throw, so just a straight up dex check.
Just a throw, yeah, just a dex check.
Apparently my character sheet never loaded. I think I have
What is that?
15, I think. I think it's a +7.
So you hit one with whatever you throw, but it does not move. It's like it's it's rooted to the ground.
Vigo, this is petty. This is petty even for you. I did nothing. I did absolutely nothing to deserve this.
Meow idea what you're talking about.
Oh my.
All right, Meow. After a bit, Odessa, you what are you making for breakfast? What are you bringing into the cat party? Cat party. Eggs and meats. All right.
Is breakfast ready, Meow?
I hate all of you. Especially you, Vigo.
After a short time, the cat spiders crawl up the walls and disperse after breakfast is done and the tasks.
After breakfast is done?
No, after Odessa brings it in.
Oh, after, okay.
Like after it's done being prepared, because that is the task for which they were originally all summoned. So they disembark and you all can have breakfast in a spider and cat free zone.
Theo, I'm never forgiving you for that. That was really rude. There was absolutely no reason for you to do that to me.
I don't know.
Well, there was that one time that he decided that I was worth being collateral and it made me start running away into a river.
Well, there was also that one time that you told me to find water.
You know, we could keep doing this if we really wanted to, or we could, and she's just going to pick
There was also that one
shoving
time
it
that
in her face.
You birthed a beholder who then summoned me to its realm and stabbed me. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, at least I get a cool knife out of this, but that's gone now too. I don't remember, but it was taken from me.
Yeah, the assailant that attacked you all outside the museum.
That's right.
Whom presented themselves as an whatever of the Raven Queen.
They snatched my Iowan stone, and I am upset. I took wounds. Well, I didn't have it equipped as a weapon. It was floating around my head, as it were.
I love
that's how an Iowan stone works.
Yeah, I love that the text of the Ion Stone says like this can be targeted. Because I forgot that until that session.
Yeah. What, the dagger itself, it doesn't matter. I'm going to eat my breakfast. The point is, what would our relationship be if we were not making it miserable for each other on a regular basis?
While she's eating, Dimitra's also going to like fold some of the pastries up into like napkins, like little paper packages, and start tucking them away into her bag.
A little lembas spread for the road.
Always.
Nasty elf breads.
So, where to?
I vote we go to the night market. Yes, the dark market. Sorry. Reading too much fantasy books.
Incidentally, the night market is a thing in my world too, but that's a whole different game.
Yeah, Vigo, would you be okay in the dark market? I know you really don't want to go back there, but we kind of have to. It feels like we kind of need to go there.
Someone has to keep you out of trouble, don't they?
I mean, yeah, Odessa's pretty good at that too, but someone had to do it while you were gone, and she got really good at it. Well,
I quibble at that point.
Also allows for the good trouble.
Most
I
of
think
what
you
we
two
do,
have very different.
you
have very different definitions of good trouble.
Good trouble in this context is very subjective.
Believe it or not, Odessa, when Vigo is not afraid for his life, he's actually a lot of fun.
Well, that may not.
We're not going to see it at the dark market because I think that's where the shrouded are. So it's going to be not fun, Vigo, I think, for a little while.
That reminds me. Where's Drix?
As far as you know, he's probably still upstairs where you left him.
Heavy sleeper, light sleeper, early to bed, early to rise kind of fellow. Odessa, you know, I would assume.
I mean, you can guess. You have no idea.
Odessa doesn't know? Yeah, I was asking Odessa.
Odessa wouldn't know either.
Oh, all right.
He's been. I mean, she hasn't seen him in like 4 or 5 years.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So
right. Rather not talk about Freda right now. Let's perhaps not wish him well on our way out the door, but I do need to convey a message to him at least.
Don't we have? Doesn't Armac have like some kind of portal system? Oh.
Furthermore, what's the travel time like between here and Titanfell and North Vale?
It is about a day from here each, give or take. But in like there's definitely a split. So like you could go towards both for a little while, but then there would be one split that goes decidedly more north, and then a split that goes decidedly more south. But about a day, give or take.
A triangle.
Now I will, just because I think it's the good thing to do in this circumstance. I have means of conveyance at my disposal. It's all a matter of having the conversations. So I think the instincts to talk to Drix, at least in passing and conferring about that, is perfectly on the table.
Odessa.
I mean, I don't know. It depends on how urgent do you feel the conflicts that are popping up are. You can decide that for yourself. Go ahead, Katie.
Odessa, do you think Drix would let us ride on that dragon skeleton? That as long as it's as cool as that would be good. But do you think we have those creatures like I don't remember what they're called, but you remember Wonky?
The Striders.
Maybe there's some Striders around that we could borrow. Maybe Wonky's around here somewhere. Wonky! Hey! Spider friends!
Mike,
Spider friends, can you bring us Wonky?
can we
There's no-
retcon kind of one thing real quick?
Sure.
Basically, we let's assume we have most of this conversation while we're eating.
Yeah.
And then while they're doing that, can I just like excuse myself and try and go find Drix by myself?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, so yeah, that's fine with me. So, okay, so
I know, I was about to
yeah.
say, do a stealth check if you don't want us to notice.
I mean, he is really good
Okay.
at those.
Oh, look. It's
27.
31.
35.
Fuck off. Fuck it. God damn it. I'm gonna put a fucking bell on you.
Oh my god.
I swear.
There's a lot of things I'm not good at. I want to be
You're
clear.
You're right. I know. So yeah, no, you are able to slip away. Well, the food is really good and the conversation is important. So, and now you all are imagining resurrected beasts of conveyance and fond memories of Wonky. Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah.
One of the spiders comes down
where did
and
Vigo
turns
go?
into Vigo.
Yeah.
But it's
Spider
white.
Vigo.
It's all, but all of it is the same color. It's all one color. So Vigo, you head out to the elevator, and it takes you back up to the laboratory level. When the door opens up, the table that was there, kind of in the center, the severed doppelganger head is still sitting there. You do not see Drix in the immediate vicinity, but I assume that you would look around. He is outside on that platform, the landing pad area, just kind of honestly just sitting a little deflated on the ground, close to the edge, his eyes towards the eastern horizon.
Okay, I'll walk over and just sort of do that whole throat clearing thing.
You'll notice that the plumes and the feathers on the back of his head are very relaxed there for a minute, but then as soon as that noise comes up, you can see his body tense up a little bit, and those plumes stand up, and he turns his head
Like a cockatiel.
very slightly, not that excited, but in that vein, yes. Good morning. I trust you all slept well.
Strange dreams, but that seems to be the custom these days. Look, I'm not going to apologize for last night. I hope we can both move past it. You're familiar with the Shrouded, yes?
Oh, yes, quite familiar.
You're aware they're here?
Yes, I have heard mention and seen a few signs.
There's one particularly nettlesome yuan T that's here. You apparently might know him by the name of Dirites.
Really?
Yes. The same thug that kept me under boot and chain for the last several years.
A Doyen, yes, high-ranking member of the group.
Would seem. He was my personal liaison, point of contact, and captor, really. He's here. And he's beckoned me. And I don't wish to answer that call, but he's threatened the others. And that is not good.
Indeed. Dear Tease is certainly the type to honor his commitments, so to speak. He, at this point, has picked himself up. His staff is kind of leaning. There's some rocks there on one of the corners that just looks like maybe the roughly in the shape of like a turret spike. And he's holding that lantern in his other hand that you can see that it is glowing, but as he stands up, the glow dims, and he tucks it underneath his cloak, and he picks up his staff, and he starts to kind of pensively pace around a little bit. And then he stops and he looks you dead in the face. Well, what would you like to do, Vigo?
The only thing that matters to me is the safety of my friends. I just nothing. He told me to come alone.
Of course.
They want to go elsewhere. I don't want to tell them what's going on because they'll follow me. I'm sure. At least Dimitra will, and I don't want to put her in that position.
I think I can help with that. Are they awake?
Yes.
Let us confer. And he sort of walks past you. He stops then for a second. Dirites and I do have some history.
I gathered by his familiarity.
Yes. Vigo, do you know much about the efforts that Freighter led to dismantle the Shrouded?
Only that they were successful in this much more horrible version of them filled the power vacuum that was created.
I trust I can ask you something in confidence, yes?
I suppose it's going to depend on the question, but go for it.
Do you have any intentions of returning to Karujid?
Well, my home. I would imagine at some point you'd like to go back.
I do not.
Why?
I have grown weary of the politics. I have grown weary of bureaucrats. I have grown weary of people that lack the foresight to prepare and to do what's necessary, but even more so, I am tired of corrupt individuals masquerading as the benevolent. I will admit that when I first assisted Freighter in his efforts to take apart the Shrouded, that my focus was intentional. There was a cult sect of the organization. I do not know if you were aware of that or not. They were involved in the Prophecy of Rising. After they were dealt with, a great majority of them being a part of the leadership, Frater and I believed that the organization would crumble from within. My attentions were pulled towards the tribes, towards rebuilding, and towards the countless Fae flooding in now from the Feywild, all because of this damned prophecy that we all got embroiled in. When I had paused to turn my attention back to the organization, I was told to stop by the intimate council of Karajid, the highest ranking members of the council. I understand all too well how noxious an individual Dirites is, because he and his cohorts, in the time that I was distracted, endeavored to lay all sorts of pitfalls and traps, blackmail, secrets, names. The vast majority of the council was compromised. I could not finish what Frater and I started because Dirites and whatever remaining leadership would have taken apart Karajid in the process. Frater did not agree, but I could not see the sense in fighting that toxicity. I appreciate my time as a council member. I was all too honored to lend my voice to the tribes, but I am not a politician, and the diplomacy of the Claw is the best knowledge that I have. And I fear that if I were to return there, it would be as an adversary. And then so many people that looked to me and Frater and the other members as beacons of hope, as heroes, no matter how we all feel about that word, would see me then return as a villain, and well, I'm just not going to choose that.
That's a lot to take in. But the very first question I have based on all of that is, do you intend to stay here?
Yes.
And how do you expect to remain or keep yourself from becoming the villain here?
Because I am not trying to be a hero.
But you yourself described the people of Titanfell, etc., as being fanatics, right? You said they had a fanatical devotion to the Gaia and their worship thereof. That may be 100% true. I'm not doubting you on that. But if you're going to unilaterally change their entire way of life, how do you think they're going to respond to it?
I did not say the people of Titanfell. I said the people that I went to.
Fair enough.
The most knowledgeable people about the Gaia are those within the temple. A lot of the people in Titanfell have distanced themselves from the old faiths, the old spiritualities, especially with so many different people and cultures mixing in Outway. The only people that I could find that knew anything more than I already did were the Zealots, unfortunately. I have heard tell that there are some professors in North Vale, and there are some scholars in Srexus that may have more knowledge, but my attention is admittedly selfishly elsewhere. there is a settlement that is in danger underground. I believe that, as difficult as this may be to explain or understand, and that is speaking on my behalf, not yours, I think that they are linked to my ancestors.
Understood. Look, I don't think. Just make sure that in attempting to do the right thing, you don't piss off everyone around you. All right? But let's go talk to the others.
That's an ironic turn of phrase from a professional thief, I will say.
I only care about really what at best two people think.
I understand that all too well. I will heed your advice, Vigo, and I will take comfort in knowing that should I fall astray, that I have individuals like yourself, Odessa and Dimitra, to curtail any villainy.
I don't know that I'd count on them too much. But I'm here to tell you what you're doing wrong, yes.
Very well. Happy to have the counsel, shall we?
Of course.
All right, so while that's happening, I'm assuming that Dimitra and Odessa realize that Vigo's gone. They go and they eat the rest of his breakfast, and then they leave
That is
to
correct.
come join them. All right,
That's
so
accurate.
as you all are coming in, you see the two of them walking in from the little landing pad area. Good morning,
Hello.
ladies.
I muted.
I hope you slept well.
Dimitra is mid-conversation with Odessa. She's coming in. I was muted.
Oh,
She said,
sorry.
okay, but if we could put the cast iron stove on one side of the strider, we could surely balance it out with all of the books that you want to have, and then we could have both of those things.
How strong is a strider?
Well, we could probably shrink the cast iron stove. Oh, hi, Drix.
Good morning. I hope you both slept well.
Just peachy.
It's fine. What's going
So-
on here? I see Vigo found you. I hope everything's okay.
Yes, everything
Best
is fine.
friends. Forever friends, the two of us.
Dimitri's gonna shoot Vigo a meaningful look.
Drix plays along. He comes up to right next to him. Yes, best.
Vigo puts his arm around Drix, which I assume makes Drix somewhat uncomfortable.
A little bit. He kind of you can the feathers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were supposed to be a good liar.
I mean, I'm not. We've hashed it out. We're on best of terms right now.
Best. Yes.
Yes, of course. Mm-hmm.
So far.
Well,
See,
we need
Drix wasn't
so
high.
far.
to hit the road. Is there any way you could help us out with some transport that is maybe faster than normal?
Where are you headed specifically?
The Dark Market
Of Titanfell.
underneath Titanfell.
Yes, I am well acquainted. He ponders for a second. He goes back over to the table and eyes the severed head for a second, and then throws the bag that he carried it in over top of it. Apologies. I think I might be able to arrange something. I hope that you ladies don't mind, but I need Vigo's assistance for a short time. Unfortunately, I am not in a position to share any details, but I can assure you he will be safe, and I will see that he is sped along to you as soon as we are done.
Okay then. That sounds like a fun buddy cop film. Um, so I guess we will go to the Dark Market, and then Vigo, we will meet you in Northvale, perhaps. Whoa!
Nope, there it is.
Sorry. My camera keeps like going out of focus. I think it's because the fan is billowing my backdrop, but I can't turn the fan off. I will die.
Yeah, our
So-
AC is not working. It's not fun over here.
Yeah, it's real toasty in here.
Yes, of course. Wherever you all happen to be, I can meet back up with you as soon as, well, not humanly possible, but you understand my
Do the three of you have means of communicating over long distances?
Yes, we do. We've got sending stones and we can see through each other's eyes, but is
Oh,
there
yeah, I
a
forgot about that.
reason? Is there a reason it has to just be Vigo? Can't we come along?
Dimitra.
I have a certain set of skills.
Besides,
I mean, I've got a lot of the same skills, Vigo.
Well, one in particular.
Drix, you actually notice that Drix's color palette shifts a little bit. It becomes a little rosier. There is a color
Drix,
changing.
are you blushing?
I am a bit embarrassed to say, but this is sort of a... What was the phrase that Freder used to use? Guy time.
I mean, I can be like one of the guys. I can hang.
Dimitra.
Vigo takes his arm away from Drix's shoulder and just kind of turns and looks at him like, what?
He immediately relaxes.
No, I can be a bro. Let me be a bro. I'll come with you
Dimitra.
guys.
You are missing
Right.
the opportunity to visit the Dark Market without the cock blocker.
No, well,
I'm
I would rather
don't
Vigo come
think
with us
there are-
to that too.
I'm not sure there's a problem with chickens in the dark market, but I am uncertain.
You'd be
Did it-
surprised. Cockfighting rings are super prevalent. We will put a stop to it, don't you worry.
He would be fine in the dark market. We would work around it.
I think that the urgency of our mission suggests that we should push forward with our intelligence and recruitment so we can get into the Shadowfell as soon as possible.
I do not like the idea of any wrinkles in our friendship, Dimitra. So if you allow me to steal Vigo away for a short time, I'll see to it that you will have a gift waiting in the grove when you arrive.
I mean, you don't have to do that. How long? How far?
Half a day, maybe a little more, not much.
Just
plan
long enough
on-
to go to the Dark Market, recruit some help, and get laid. Everybody wins.
I'm sorry, what?
Vigo, can you and I talk? Just you and me.
Yes, I suppose, although I'm very dismayed at what I'm hearing, but yes.
She's just gonna grab your hand and like walk you away from the others a little bit.
Okay.
Drix is going to actually zero in on the halberd now and actually start checking it out because he had
Yeah,
to go
it
do
will
that.
come and chat with you.
I don't like this. Last time that we were separated, things went very poorly, and
Which time was that? Was that when I was captured or when you decided to go off on a chase through the city of Titanfell and tell me to find
Vigo, this
water?
is different. I'm talking about the time. Well, of course, it's making me think about the time you were captured. I just don't. We were apart for so long, and the thought of you being half a day's journey away. That's
But
just a lot.
I'm with a demigod. How much trouble could I get into? Back this evening. You know what? No, there is no if. I will be back this evening, no matter what.
I just don't understand why it just has to be the two of you. What's going on? What's happening?
I don't even know. He hasn't told me.
He hasn't. That's not what you guys were talking about before we came in.
We were talking about going on secret missions and all that, but I'm still not entirely clear on the details. Look,
You don't even know, and you're just gonna. You don't even like Drix, and you're just gonna trust him and go on this super secret mission with him without knowing anything about what it's about. And it's gonna take you a half day away from me, the person that you're supposed to care about the most in the world. Like, what's going on?
from what I understand, this is the best way I can keep you safe.
Well, I don't need you to keep me safe.
I do. I know you don't. I know you can take care of yourself. But I can't let anything happen to you. Because if anything
did
did
for the-
happen... Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I should say I did just fine for the years that you were gone.
I know you can. But if something were to happen to you on my watch, let's just say I might go from irrepressible ne'er-do-well with a heart of gold to incorrigible villain very quickly.
Well, would it be on your watch? Because you would be gone.
No, if you were with me, it would be on my watch.
So you think you're perfectly safe with Drix,
No,
but you don't
I
think
think-
I would also.
I think you're perfectly safe, not with the two of us. And that's what I'm trying to accomplish. I know you don't understand, and I'm sorry. When I have more information, I will tell you everything. But for now, I need you to go with Odessa.
You don't like this.
I don't either, but I don't see much of a choice in the matter.
You always have a choice. That's what you always say. You always have a choice.
I used to think that.
That line is blurry.
You really feel like you have to do this.
I do.
Nothing I can say is going to change your mind.
If there were any reason for me to believe that I would be better off and you would be better off, especially, well, you would be better off coming with me, I would have you there in a heartbeat.
It just feels like you're putting yourself on the line for me.
Of course,
And that.
that's
but
not
I
wrong.
don't- But I don't want you to do that.
I understand, but it's something I have to do.
If anything were to happen to you, you don't think I would react the same way to go from cheerful, bright, mildly ruthless sword wielder to incorrigible villain very quickly?
No, I think you would always do the right thing.
Hmm.
It may not be
Maybe-
the pleasant or less murderous thing, but I think it would always be the right thing. I would not.
I don't think you can know that.
I do. I know me,
Well,
and I know my place in the world.
well, to be fair, Vigo, you were away from me for a very long time. You don't know what what I was doing to try and get you back.
That's true. But I do want to hear all about it when I come back this evening.
You'll send a message on the sending stone as soon as you can.
Of course.
I expect one every 2 hours. Can you do that?
Insofar
I
as
think we
the
get
magic
three.
of
I
the
think we get
feathers
three
will
sendings,
allow
don't
me.
we?
3
And it's gonna be a
charges.
half day.
You
So
can
two every
always
2 hours. If you're late, I will worry, and I will call in.
Fine. I will send you a message as often as I can if you promise not to try and look through my eyes.
That's That's a good call to make her promise that.
I don't know that I can promise that.
Yeah, I'll know.
At this point, Drix kind of glances over at the two of you. I think I have means of conveyance for you and Odessa. We will need to go outside. Are we all ready to depart? Do you need to gather your supplies?
Already done. Rucksack.
Yeah, we brought our things down.
Excellent. Drix turns. He walks by the table, grabs the head, putting the bag, slipping it into the bag, and putting it back underneath his cloak, and strides out onto the that platform. But then you'll notice down on the side of it, there's actually a stone set of really rough stone steps that lead all the way down outside of the spire to the ground below. And he walks out a few paces, and he's rummaging through. He's got this crazy, like, scraggly cloak that you can't really ever see what he's actually reaching under. Like, there's pockets in it or something. And he pulls out what looks like a vertebrae, like it's hollow. It's on a string, and he like holds it and drops it. And then he starts swinging it around above his head, and it starts to whistle. And then everybody give me perception checks.
24.
18.
15. See, I'm not great.
Yeah, but that's good enough. You will notice that whistling sound, and almost like you can hear it right here where Drix is spinning it. And he's kind of like looking around, like he's not exactly sure what's about to happen. But you can hear that sound being echoed coming off from one side direction. And as you all turn and look that way, you notice how like the heat distortion above a highway? Imagine that, but iridescent. And the space that it is happening in kind of bends in on itself. And bursting out of it, very much in the style of the cat bus from My Neighbor Totoro, is a giant, probably about the size of a double-decker bus, maybe a little bit bigger, isopod that is the chitin that's on it is really ornate bronze, and it has this the iridescent sheen to it. It's got this crazy big glass sphere ring at the front of it, almost like a light, that you can see this sort of energy pulsing out of, and it stops. And it just comes trucking right up and around in front of everybody, and then just collapses onto the ground. You'll notice up on top of it, there is like a crow's nest kind of situation with like a flag and a lantern. A door pops open, and leaping out of it is this fine-looking fellow. This big orange, he kind of looks like a cross between an armadillo and an antlion, if you know what those are. And he's sort of balancing on his tail, and he lands, and he goes, Drix! It is good to see you again, my friend. Are you cashing in? He looks to you a moment, and then he walks over to this guy, and they're talking quietly. Well, it's not really orthodox. I understand that, but what if I...
So I think this is our ride to Titanfell?
It looks strong enough to carry a cast iron stove.
I've never ridden by Pillbug before.
I don't know that you are riding by Pillbug.
The big bug guy is sort of floating there, nodding and listening to Drix. He's balanced on his tail the whole time, almost like a big rocking chair. And he kind of leans out to one side and eyes the three of you. His antenna mustache sort of like flicking a little bit. And then he leans back and he goes, very well. And he holds his hand out, and Drix drops the phone call thing in his hand. He tucks it away. Drix turns back to you all. Meet the Book-a-Bug.
I'm sorry, the what?
The Book-a-Bug.
Book a bug. I love it.
Sort of a magic transit system. Its keeper, his name is Ren. Oh wait, no, it's not. I lied.
Oh, okay.
It's Stimpy.
Sorry. His name is Braxis. Braxis is the keeper of the Book-a-Bug. In order to garner passage, he kind of rolls his eyes a little bit, and you have to do him a favor. These can range in difficulty and asinineness, but I have cashed in my ride for you all. It should get you there in under a half day, Dimitra, Odessa.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Let's go!
Okay. Dimitri's gonna turn to Vigo and take his hand. You come back to me in one piece. Don't do anything stupid.
Me do something stupid? How?
Uh-huh.
Oh, what an utterly ridiculous idea.
All right,
Dimitra
all
would probably
right.
do this. Don't do it.
That's fair. That's good advice. I will follow that.
Okay, you two, don't get
Okay.
sentimental. Have faith. We will see each other again.
Odessa,
Yes.
if there is but a hair out of place on her head, I will blame you.
As you should.
Yes.
So Dimitri's gonna give Vigo a big hug and a kiss on the cheek, and then follow Odessa.
All right. So, Dimitra and Odessa, you walk over to this very large, somewhat metallic, not somewhat organic, isopod. There is a section of the chitin there on the side, down towards the ground, in between the front two legs and the rest of the body, that sort of like opens in these rings. And you're able to go inside. And inside, it's like a city bus, but like for magic people. It's dirty. There's probably like some, like loose candles hanging around from the ceiling. There's discarded trash. There is like one person asleep in the corner, or maybe they're dead. It's really hard to tell. But yeah, you are on the Book-a-Bug. The Braxis, the door has closed behind you, and then Braxis's head pops in from like a porthole in the ceiling and
Whoa.
looks at the two of you. Where do you want to go?
Dark Market under Titanfell, please.
And he pops back up. Then Vigo, you will see that center eye piece starts to glow real bright. There's this loud shuddering groan that comes from this creature as it pushes itself up. These little rays, flecks of light start to fleck off of that center eye, and it starts running. And as it's running, you can see its legs actually are growing, but ethereally. This like almost energy that's pulling it along, and then it disappears.
When
probably-
that happens, Vigo turns to Drix and just says, just tell me that's not the last time I'm going to see them.
I don't believe it will be. I mean, I suppose that depends on how you decide to proceed with your deities situation and whether or not they go looking for a fight.
Yes, I kind of figured that. It's very comforting, Drix. Thank you.
I will do my best to see that you do.
Outstanding.
Where is this meeting that you are beckoned to?
In a grove near an old farmstead outside of North Vale.
suppose you will need conveyance too.
I mean, I suppose I could walk, but I'd prefer not to.
Dangerous to walk the road alone, and we are all pressed for time, aren't we? He ponders for a second. Do you have much experience riding beasts of burden?
I mean, the odd horse every now and then. That,
If he gets wonky, I swear to God.
what did you have in mind?
How's your grip? I'll do most of the work. And then Drix turns from you, and his body becomes cloaked in that black, almost liquid-like smoke. And then a dinosaur drops out of the smoke. I had artwork, and it has disappeared. I will find it while we're about to go to break. I will find it during the break and throw it up there. But he is turning into a Caprosuchus, which is basically a horse crocodile. It is a crocodilian-like dinosaur, a little bit larger with legs as long as a horse. They were believed to be unbelievably fast. At least that is what I am choosing to believe. So he wild shapes into this red and white, almost albino color palette, Caprosuchus, and stamps as like he's standing there for a second, looking out towards the horizon. Vigo, give me a perception check.
11.
You're very distracted by the fact that you now have to ride on Dinosaur Drix's back to Northvale. Are you hopping on?
You know, I knew someone once that often tried to turn into a dinosaur, and not fond memories. We'll give this a go.
He just kind of goes. All right. So our party is split. Drix and Vigo are en route towards Northvale. Odessa and Dimitra are riding the Bookabug to the Dark Market. We're going to go ahead and go to a break because I'm sweating so bad and I am so thirsty. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly.
BRB. something.
Are you ready when you're in the bathroom?
Yes. To pee.
How long have we been back, Meg? Good. Perfect. Welcome. You're dead. You're dead. Oh, I was
Completely
distracted.
missed it.
Distracted by my own shenanigans.
Did we saying to pee come in?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Well, there you go. That's the clip. That's the clip right there, Meg. That's we're gonna clip this one. That's the spot.
it.
That's the
That's the
advert. If that doesn't make you want to watch our show, then something's clearly wrong with you. As is the custom in these parts, we hope you had a pleasant bathroom break. I am a little bit more hydrated. If you are just now joining us, where have you been? But we're glad to see you.
We missed you.
Odessa and Dimitra are en route to the Dark Market. Their means of conveyance, a very large, somewhat mechanized, somewhat organic isopod magic transport known as the Bookabug, being driven or piloted or, I don't know, by another bug folk named Braxis. Drix called in a favor, apparently, to send you all there much quicker than you would on foot, while Vigo and Drix go to, as far as Odessa and Dimitra are concerned, unknown places. But Vigo informed Drix that Dirites, his former handler in the Shrouded, has called a meeting at a secret location, or not a secret location, but a specified location at a specified time where bad junk is going to happen. So that's where they're going.
You didn't tell me that.
Sure I did.
It's Dirites. Of course it's bad junk.
I mean, he absolutely gave you a threat. And knowing who he is, I think you would infer.
You may just want to talk about... Look, we're having a conversation about local sports. It's fine.
That could be the conversation. I just mean, if you didn't show up, there was going to be severe consequences.
Or if I showed up not alone. That was
right. Oh, yeah. That was kind of implied. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
We've all got our junk, and my junk is you.
all right. So inside the Bookabug, it is kind of not like dark, but it's also not very bright. There aren't any windows. All of the light is coming from like lanterns and candles. There's like candles that are kind of big masses melted and still burning in like nooks and crannies and things. There is some structure inside. Again, it looks kind of like an amalgam of architecture and organic growth. I describe this as sort of public transit, like magic public transit. It's a bit dirty inside. There's some trash and stuff everywhere. There might be a person asleep in the corner. They might be dead. It might be a pile of coats. Dimitra and Odessa, you're on the way to the Dark Market. What's up?
Do you want to play Dragon Chess?
What's Dragon Chase?
Chess.
Oh. We can try. How smooth is the ride?
Oh, I'm imagining that it's like, if not magnetic, then
Unusually.
magically. You know, like a travel set.
It's magnetic.
Exactly.
Oh no,
Do
I
you-
mean the ride is very smooth.
Oh, well, also
Yeah.
the board is magnetic, so the pieces stick.
Okay.
Do you
Yeah.
have your own travel dragon chessboard?
I do!
Huh. Okay, yeah, I guess we could do that.
Just keeping
Yeah.
your mind off things.
Give me some perception checks.
Okay. 44. Again.
14.
Odessa, you will see this, and I imagine you would probably bring it to Dimitra's.
That is my
attention.
decision. Tell
It
me
is
what
your
I see.
decision. So as I said, there's some like refuse. There's some trash and stuff on the ground, crumpled up pieces of parchment, perhaps some bottles, a discarded tin cup, maybe. There's one in particular thing that it catches your eye because of the colors that are on it. It still looks discarded trash, but it is very vibrantly colored, and it seems to be a flyer for a shop. I'm going to move it to the token layer on Roll20.
Ooh. A fortune
That's
teller.
fun.
Now, I didn't put all the details on the artwork because I want to make this into a shirt. But it is basically describing a shop in the dark market where magical items can be found, enchantments can be added to things, potions and potion ingredients, all that kind of stuff, as well as a fortune teller. Are you showing it to Dimitra?
Oh yeah, sure. Look at this. Does it say, I'm sorry, does it say that it's in the dark market?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Sorry, I missed it. I was trying to get the art center.
Yeah. Sorry. It's hard for me to tell like where the
Yeah. Hey, look, maybe we can have our fortunes told while we are at the dark market. Maybe the fortune teller can tell you that Vigo will be back tonight.
I mean, he promised he's going to be back tonight, so he better be, or he will be in trouble.
Dimitra, when she shows you the flyer, you recognize the character that's on it.
I do.
Yeah, it's like that thing you do. Like, you ever go to the thrift store or like an antique store and you see like a storybook that you had when you were a kid, and you don't think about that book. You've not thought about that book in however long, but you see the cover of that book and you're like, oh, I had that when I was a kid. Kind of like that. Perhaps an image of a character from your childhood in the folklore or the storytelling traditions of the satyr. Perhaps you saw it maybe at Bard's College. There's something familiar to it, about it, and something that is pleasant in a way.
Interesting. Should I do like a history check?
Sure. Roll them math rocks.
It's a 17.
Yeah. So, which do you want, childhood or Bard's College?
I was thinking childhood.
Yeah. So, this is a character. His name is Frillick. And
Okay.
he is referred to as Frillick the Wanderer. There are a number of like ballads or limericks written about him. And he is just kind of this character, think like Santa Claus, but instead of once a year and presents, he brings inspiration. And it's it was the way it was told in the stories, is that the satyr children that wanted it and needed it the most, and had the best intentions for it, he would come to them to give them inspiration.
Okay. So Dimitra's gonna see it and go, huh. I think that's so strange to see it here. I think that's Relic the Wanderer on that flyer.
Is he a friend of yours?
No, he's from Satyr oral traditions, whatever. He's basically like Santa Claus, but with inspiration instead of presents.
Who is Santa
Every
Claus?
little- What?
Who is Santa Claus?
A fair point. Thank you. Thank you, Meg.
Sorry.
Dimitra was possessed for a split second.
I don't know.
A
how
Krampus
else to
a thing?
Okay.
The realities kind of
Yeah.
just meshed for a second.
All right. Let me rewind that. Okay. Yeah, he's just a character from Satyr tradition. It just comes by with inspiration twice a year for all the little kids. I haven't thought
Oh,
about
nice.
him for years, since not don't think a lot of people know about it outside of satyrs. We don't really stay in one place or whatever.
Well, that
for
would be
very
how
long,
it's spread,
then.
right? Because you don't stay in one place, so you take it different places, and the
Right, exactly.
whatever's happening with the planes is clearly happening here. So there must be pockets of Fae upholding those traditions on Eldaria.
You also
Right, I'm just
you did learn that there were a population of satyr in Northvale.
Right.
Oh,
And I
fun!
So it's probably a satyr running the shop would be my guess. I don't know any other reason why they'd have Frillick on their flyer.
Well, let's go and find out.
Yeah, why not?
All right. So you all continue on your way. Brackus will not come back down to talk to you at any point. You could go to him if you really wanted to, but just that the book bug will get where it needs to get. The door will open up, and you will go. But before we do that, deep in the you have Vigo on the back of oh crap, I forgot to put the artwork up. My bad. On the back of Drix in his
Crocodors.
Caprasuchus
Crocodile.
Orchidale's good. Horligator.
Alligators and crocodiles are not the same thing.
I understand. They have different snouts. Alligators are usually much bigger.
They're chonkish.
So you have left the rocky, arid parts of the mountain range that Armak's tower is nestled in, and have come back into the forest that surrounds the greater area of North Vale. You come up to what is very obviously a fork in the road. That one way probably leads to Titanfell, Vigo might guess, and the other way leads to Northvale. This is probably the route that you took to come this way. Caprasuchus Drix stops and gives you a moment to catch your breath and hop off if you want to. I guess you don't. If you don't, maybe he'll buck you off, but I imagine he would.
Is he indicating he would like me to get off?
Uh,
Make an animal handling check?
Does he just turn back into
Fine.
himself and let Vigo fall on
Fine.
the ground?
no.
Drix wouldn't do that.
He wouldn't, but if he gets uncomfortable, he's not above bucking you off.
Sure, yes. I think he would try and send me a signal to get off.
Yeah, he's gonna stop and kind of like crouch a little bit.
Okay. Well, I'll take that as an indication that we need to rest, and I'll jump off.
Okay. So after you jump off, he straightens back up and he turns away from you. His body once again being cloaked in that liquidy, dark green, almost black smoke. And as it kind of falls in the form of this dinosaur, he walks back out the other side. I hope that wasn't too rough.
I mean, other than the uncomfortability of riding upon what I know to be another person that I don't have the best of relationships with, it was pleasant otherwise, yes.
As far as I'm concerned, Vigo, there is no problem in our relationship. Your outlook on my deeds does not affect my outlook of you, and I hold you in the same esteem that I hold Dimitra and Odessa.
Going to choose to take that as a compliment.
It was. North Vale is this way. Do you smell that? Probably not. You do not have an enhanced sense of smell that I am aware of. Smoke. Coming from North Vale.
How strong of smoke? Like burning building smoke, or like someone's got a campfire going?
You know what? I'm gonna roll for that. Hard to tell.
Of course it is.
Larger than a campfire.
but smaller than a town.
If the entire town were burning, there would be a great deal more smoke in the sky. And
This
as
is why
Red box.
you can't see the sky really here because the canopy of the trees is fairly dense. But if you were to find a spot where you could see the sky, you do see a little bit of smoke coming from the direct. It's not like big plumes of black smoke. Oh my God, everybody's dead. But it's definitely like, oh, that's weird. Are they
could
like
it be
burning
like a
the
large
fields?
bonfire kind of thing, or
Potentially, yeah. If this
Controlled
far out,
burn
and
of
with
some
this,
kind.
yeah, it gives you that sort of that degree. Yes, that gives you a good visual key.
okay? So it's the good thing in having someone smarter than you around at all times. They know what's going on. I presume this is where we part.
Yes, my road takes me a different way. What do you plan on doing with Dirites?
Try to get through whatever conversation he wants to with my life intact, and then depart.
I do not know how wily Dirites is, but I told you this before, and I will tell you again. Lean into your strengths.
I intend to. The thing about Dirites, if we're ever going to take the fight to him, we need to do it on our terms and not his. And this is not the right opportunity to take it to him, I don't think.
I presume that you do intend on joining Dimitra and Odessa in the Dark Market when all is said and done here.
I have no intention of separating myself from them as long as any longer than is necessary. Yes.
There is a group of individuals in the Dark Market, the Black Gloves. They are standing in opposition to the Shrouded's goals there. I do not fully understand what those goals are, but they most likely would have a better idea of it. You are likely to find allies in them, and when and if the time arises to take the fight to Dirites, I imagine that they would be good to have in your corner.
Is that the people who are in the underneath? Okay.
Scrubby's one of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That was the former Thieves Guild then.
Yeah, that was the Thieves Guild that essentially got dismantled and picked apart by
my name written down, but I'm glad
that's
that
okay.
my compatriots remembered.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Tell me, Drix, before we part ways, what's going? I have no other way of putting this. What's going on with Freyder?
Freyder is dead.
I know this.
I see.
You can make that decision because I don't. We'll talk about it.
That was something from the previous narrative that I don't know.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, we can chat about it later.
Okay.
Odessa's not here, so. Seisha brought word to me. One of my other allies, member of the Arisen, my circle of druids back in Karajid.
That was a shrouded hit, in case you were wondering.
She suspected as much. Vigo, I feel I must inform you that I was keeping tabs on the Shrouded. Not personally, but members of the Arisen had infiltrated one of the sanctuaries outside of Copperhook. That is how she was able to confirm. Dirites was involved, yes?
Amongst others.
One thing that Seish was unable to ascertain, but seeing as you seem to have somewhat more intimate knowledge, was Frater the target?
One second. I want to make sure I give the right answer here.
Who is Frater again while he's looking that up?
Odessa's adoptive father, basically.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. I just forgot the name.
Yeah, he took her in after. I just put it in the chat because I didn't want to interrupt them.
He is one of Drix's allies who also would have risen to some acclaim during the Prophecy of Rising.
He's how I know Drix.
Yeah.
That's why
Yes.
Drix
I
was
figured
around.
I wasn't the only one who
Yeah.
didn't remember, so asking on behalf of her.
No
Thanks.
worries, no worries.
No.
In other words, Katie's like, I remember. This is just for them.
I was also asking. I said I was asking on their
On
behalf as
behalf,
well
exactly.
as mine.
Yes.
Figured I couldn't be the only one.
My concern currently lies with the fact that they're also targeting Odessa's brother, whom she does not seem to care about.
Yes, I do not know all of the details of that story, but I know enough. That is interesting.
If I'm being perfectly honest, I was supposed to assassinate. I was involved in the one with Freydia, but removed myself from the equation before it could go down, and was meant to assassinate her brother. And, well, got away, as it were.
I am curious, how exactly did you come to be here again? In your words, please.
That's a great story. So, let me tell you a little bit about Dimitra. She had a beholder child, apparently. We're not entirely certain about that. How exactly that worked out? Messed with things beyond her comprehension. Typical Dimitra behavior, as you might imagine. There was a beholder who claims to be her child. He summoned all of us to his pocket dimension and then spat us all out back here in Karujid.
After we won the game show.
In Eldaria. After some fun games that put all of our lives at risk. And then he stabbed me, and I don't know why. I don't know what I would have done personally to this beholder who I'd never met before. He was giving everybody gifts. Everyone got a thing to take for winning his games. And then he plunged a dagger in my back. And yes, the wound healed, but this cloak will never, ever be the same. There's no hole there now. I know that, but I will always remember it being there. And that's just, you know what? And he looks at Drix's cloak that's raggedy and like full of holes. He's like, I suppose you wouldn't really understand, would you?
He holds his arm out, and you'll notice that he is wearing a cuffed bracelet. It looks like the base maybe is made out of leather, and then there are these bands of beads, flat, sort of shale, almost like beads. No, I think I do understand. I have a certain attachment to this bracelet. It belonged to my mother. I had to replace a few of the beads a few years ago after a particular rough scuffle with a Titan boa. It has not been the same since.
Vigo looks back, stares at the ground a little sheepishly, and says, "Well, I just like this one. I thought it looked nice. That's all. I kind of just took it. That's not important."
I see.
Yes.
It does look nice.
Thank you. Finally.
As I imagine that we're walking and talking a little bit, Drix is kind of likely. After you get a little ways, he stops and kind of like turns his head off. Here you hear some animal off in the distance, maybe. Why won't this? Sorry.
Give me animal voices.
Right. There we go. I know it goes without saying, Vigo, but keep your wits about you. I will reconvene with the three of you as soon as I am able. ideally at the Grove.
What few wits I have will be kept rather close, I promise. Is there a quick way back from Northvale or Titanfell? I did promise I'd be back this evening, but I'm not entirely certain I can hold that end of the bargain up if I'm walking.
I don't have many friends in North Vale. They have deemed me meddlesome, but they do have a carriage that runs southward to Titanfell. Fuck. I'm still dehydrated.
All right. Well, hopefully there's a late one that runs, but
I'm sure you can finagle away.
That does sound like me, doesn't it? I appreciate your efforts this far, and adieu until we meet again.
Good hunting, Vigo. And he turns from you and his, again, wild shapes. This time, though, as the cloud overtakes his body, a massive flying dinosaur sort of strides out of the smoke. It's called a Quetzalcoatlus, about 15 feet tall, 80 foot wingspan, I think, something like that. So it comes like striding out and then picks up a few and then goes flying. I will argue that its body is not all that bulky. It does not necessarily look like it would be a comfortable flight either.
Well, Vigo doesn't. He's too dumb to understand that. Just looks up and says, "Why didn't
Oh, okay.
that all the way?" Well, that was rude.
They're
Alone again.
vicious.
How long has it been since Vigo
Oh, yeah,
and Dimitra parted ways?
How long has it been?
Has it
sorry,
been 2
what?
hours? Has it been
Yeah.
2 hours?
Somebody, high or low?
Hi.
Low. Low.
Good thing too. Yes, it has been 2 hours.
Well, okay, so if I send a message every 2 hours, I'm gonna run out of messages way before the day is run out.
Yes,
You said half a day. You said half a day.
Yeah.
That's 6 hours. That's a half day.
12.
Okay, well, all right, so I'll send a message. It said,
How does time even
Well, a
work
whole
here?
day is 12, and then a whole night is an additional 12. So if you tell
As
me
the
half a
sun
day,
sets.
that's 6 hours.
And
Alright,
then
so-
2 more suns rise.
so I'll send a message that says, "Oops, not a half day. We'll be back this evening, but we'll spread messages out over the course of the day. Miss you."
Kiss,
Wink.
kiss.
Kiss.
GM inspiration. That was beautiful. I love that.
Yay!
That was the most succinct sending message I think I've ever had in a game.
Apparently, I already have.
So we'll bump back over to Dimitra and Odessa as the Bookabug has come to a stop. That message has come through.
What does it do? What does the sending stone do when Vigo calls?
Yeah, it's different effects, remember?
Remember?
You've given us different effects based on...
Yeah, I think Odessa's like, if it's Odessa leaving the message, it glows.
It gets
warm,
hot.
right?
If
What
it's
is
you,
it-
it sounds like a goat.
I forgot about that. I'll have to remember that for my timing when I send a message back.
There's just a random monologue that plays.
Yes. It actually just plays the whole message in his voice. Like, it's a voice note, is what it is.
You know
Oops.
what? No, you're not supposed to hold the button while you talk. Yeah, you know what? Yes, that's what happens. You just hear that message.
Do I get inspiration for winning that creation
Yeah,
pool?
sure. I'm gonna give everybody an opportunity to get some inspiration. Yes.
Yeah.
Wink. Spoken out loud. Wink. Kiss.
Oh, well, it sounds like. Wait, so you said basically that you are going to check in less frequently than 2 hours. It's not
Yes,
going to
that
be
I would spread that. I have 2
only a
more
half
messages
day.
left, and they'll be spread out over the course of the day.
So you didn't
and
say
go.
anything about getting there safely or anything like that.
Nope.
Wow.
I haven't got there yet.
I mean, that's a fair point, but
Okay, that's.
But
fair-
he's
yeah,
still
that's a fair
alive.
reason. Yeah, he's sending the message, and it plays in his voice, right? It's not like a robot, like a
No, it's his voice.
a robo
it's
voice.
you know what? It's his voice, but more his voice.
Like a caricature of him.
Which, if you don't know, is not actually Rigo.
Does he remember what his own voice sounds like?
No, that's the he does not remember.
He doesn't remember
Yeah,
anymore.
So
That,
that's
like,
a bit of a
so-
sore spot.
He remembers what he looks like, and that's why he can change back into his form, but he does not remember what his own voice sounds like.
So one could argue that this is his voice now.
You could.
I mean, he chose it.
He did.
Came with
Well-
the face.
He came with the face.
Fair.
It was a package deal.
It was a bundle.
Yeah.
Bundle of saves.
It was real
Buy
cheap.
one, get one half off.
You think you hate the sound of your voice?
Yikes. But yikes. Anyway, so the message plays, and Dimitra hears, and she's like, "Okay, well, it's kind of already going back on his promise, so that's not great. But at least he's safe."
Be fair, you have to be flexible with timelines on these sorts of things. You never know what you're going to run into or want to stop and eat.
He's not me, Odessa.
Yes, but he would want to stop and steal. So, same thing.
I guess.
So
You sent a
as
message back?
No! She just demanded proof of life from you. She didn't promise you anything in return.
Oh, rude.
I'll take this. Odessa will take the sitting stone and she will go, Roger.
And for good, buddy.
Okay, so Odessa and Dimitra, as the door opens up, I'm gonna guess that you're not gonna like wait around to part. Are you taking the flyer with you?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Yeah, so you get out of the Book of Bug and
Yeah, if
you are
Dimitra
in-
doesn't want it, Odessa thinks it's cool, so she'll probably pocket it.
So you are in a very large cavern area that is lit by these tall, almost like petrified kind of mushrooms. There are people about. There are little like pop kind of carts, rickety sort of things. This is the entrance to the Dark Market. You can see a very large archway in the distance, and then after that, you can tell that the slope goes down, and there is some. It's just very dark. There's light down
What?
there,
The
but
dark market is dark?
I know it's crazy. But yeah, this is the entrance to the Dark Market.
Dimitra, do you feel that?
What?
This is going to be fun.
It does smell a lot like illicit activity.
Yeah, there are all kinds of snack carts, like street food, street vendors. There seems to be like this constant state of construction, repairing broken bits of this architecture. You can even see, I don't know if you recall, but we haven't been there, so it doesn't matter. We haven't been there in this iteration, but in Titanfell there were certain myconids that would and druids that would be mending the fungus. There's something equivalent to that here. There are lots of people. Give me a perception check, both of you.
Man, 19.
25.
Yeah, both of you would notice that there seem to be a lot of people leaving. There
Oh.
are caravan carts off to one side of this main thoroughfare, all exiting. But other than that, there are still some people that are coming and going. Like that, it's not all that, but you do notice a very specific, concentrated amount of people that seem to be leaving.
If I
Um,
focus my attention there, do I overhear any chatter that might reveal why they're leaving in a group like this all at once?
High or low?
Hi.
Yeah, you can hear. Actually, you don't hear chatter. You hear somebody right nearby, like a selling newspapers kind of deal, and they're shouting about conflict with Strexis, inevitable. Gaia rampaging in the hive. Read all about it.
No, I want to take a paper.
He holds his hand
While
out.
she's
Actually, it's a bug folk, so he holds two hands out on one side.
while she's doing that, do any of the NPCs leaving look nice?
Like, just quantify nice.
Just someone who doesn't look super surly and like they would punch Dimitra.
Oh, this is what I'm doing tonight.
Low.
Sauntering along, he stepped away